It's messing with your goals. It's messing with all our goals. But what you want to do in times like this is you want to start looking for the opportunities to expand. You want to expand your opportunities and your options, not contract. What you're going to see in the world is people are contracting. They're operating based on fear and scarcity. Look at the toilet paper. Their money is scarcity. Their options are scarcity. Their travel is scarcity. And other people are saying, wait a minute, I'm not going to let circumstances dictate my life. Yes, I'm going to stay quarantined. Yes, I'm going to do that. But I can find and pivot alternative ways to reach my goals. So, look, same thing happened in 2008, when the housing crisis happened, which I was oblivious to because I'm in the nonprofit world. But people in the profit world thought they were going to die. As Marsha was considering applying for a position with Amazon. They thought they were going to die. I thought the world was coming to an end because they lost millions of dollars. Whoa, Kathy, you put an offer on the condo. Hitting a goal, baby. So did you make an offer between last week and today, Kathy? Because I don't remember you had making an offer. Hard to get married when you have to stay away from everyone. Yeah, it's not the traditional way. I can officiate your wedding over Skype or Zoom. Kathy, man, that's congratulations. Did you negotiate? Did you throw out a high offer and they accepted it? Yeah, so I'm just thinking you're getting pretty close to retirement, Gail. I can't remember, though. Maybe you're like 20 years away. My financial advisor friends say, do not panic. Hang in there. It will rebound. May take a couple years. I bought stock in cruise ships, of all things, this morning. But I'm going to have to wait like 3 years for it to go back up. Because nobody's going to trust those cruise ships. Same with your retirement. It'll go back up. That's going to might be challenging. So they countered, then you countered, and they took it. Kathy, that's it. Congratulations. So are you going to accept it? You think you're going to accept that deal? That's one of your pick two, isn't it? Find somebody to get married to that you love and move over there on the beach. So what are you going to do? You going to take it? I want to answer your questions and we can help each other through what we're going through here to get to our goals. And as we do, I want to, again, talk about God, your goals, and Mindy's down 11 of your 15 pounds this month. Way to go, Mindy! Yeah, Gail, we had a recession plan into the plan, but not this bad. Yeah, you haven't looked at your portfolio. You may not want to look at your portfolio. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what you got in there, but nobody predicted stuff like this. It won't stay down that long, I don't think. It'll rebound. Kathy, way to go. Congratulations. So closing's probably in like a month or two. Way to go. Hitting the goals, baby. Yourself a pat on the back. That's amazing. And so it's on the west side of Florida, isn't it? Man, you see, you guys who are sticking with this, you're hitting your goals. Proud of you. You just keep showing up. You will hit your goals. Kathy, middle of May. It's what I call the vacation at Kathy's. All right, man, let's do it. We'll do a live session from there. How about that, Kathy? Oh no! Justin says his brother did not hit his goal. wasn't his goal like go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week? You better have a coronavirus excuse. Wait a minute, no one gets to watch Illini basketball. There is no Illini basketball. Maybe you're setting me up for that. Anyway, I'm not accepting your word for it, Justin. Y'all hitting your goals. Okay, so Indian Rocks Beach on the Gulf Coast. How many people does it house? Because we got several people here who want to come visit you, Kathy. We all want to go to the Gulf Coast. Look, so God, goals, and progress. Giving you a strategy to make it a little bit easier. Gail says the gym is closed, so it doesn't count for your brother. His name's Blair, by the way. Hey, man, I had to set up a makeshift gym in my basement this morning. Hey, I'd be honored to come marry you on the beach. I'll officiate that wedding. We'll put Gail on that beach too. Marcia, that's one of her goals. Sever, you got that goal. We'll do it. How about we do like 7 weddings at the same time? Married. You kiss. Y'all kissing the bride. All right, so listen, how does God fit into your dreams? How does God fit into your goals? How does God fit into your pick two? Look, I got some atheist friends. Atheist, means no or without. Theist means belief in God, and it's how you filter the world. And hey, if you're an atheist, that's cool. That's cool. You can still have goals and go for it. Just say, God doesn't fit into my dreams. I'm a Christian, so I believe that God does fit in it, but you're not going to get me to judge you on that. So how does your view of God fit into your dreams and making progress towards your pick two? Does God not care at all? Does he care a little bit? Does he care some? Does he give you free will? Is he involved? Does he help you get there? What do you think? Type below what you think. Gail says she'll get married on the beach. Kathy's cool. Are you posting temperatures? I can't mess with my laptop. My laptop's all screwy right now. Mindy says she'll be in the crowd. All right, look, if you're I may put this up on YouTube or something like that someday. If you're watching this years later, we're going through the coronavirus. Everybody's pretty much on lockdown, just short of martial law. Some people think it's overblown. Some people think that the rate is quadrupling, going 10 times. Okay. I do intercessory prayer for my dream guy every day. I'm counting on God for a miracle to make my dream happen. I believe he is behind my dream and working to make it happen. All right. Lola, he inspires my dreams. I'm a Christian writer. Kathy says God wants me to be involved. God wants to be involved in every area of our lives. He wants a personal relationship with us. Marcia says, I seek God for direction. So it sounds like prayer is a big deal. Yeah, so we're in the midst of the coronavirus and everybody's kind of on shutdown and trying to keep our sanity. And hopefully, whoever's watching this in the future, maybe even us who are on this live right now, is we're all doing really well. It's my prayer, it's my hopes and my dreams for all of us. So the question is, how is God involved? When he prays, Justice says he's our rock and one to praise for our ability of our success. Sandra, Mindset Mastery, I spend time with God daily through prayer and Bible reading. So asking him for input, asking him to control your thoughts, bless your mind. That's what I do, Sandra. I'm like, okay, because I read my New Testament again and again, and it talks about love and renewing your mind day by day and getting control of your thoughts and having peace in your mind and having peace in your heart, and that Jesus came to give joy and to give it abundantly. And this is not stuff that I was raised on. I believe that God was judging me all the time. I believe that God was mad at me. You've got to go through a mindset shift on that stuff. And there's a book called, I forget what the book is. Let me see if I got it up here. I do have it up here. So it's called The God-Shaped Brain. And I teach this in grad school, and I use this as part of the curriculum. And it's how changing your view of God transforms your life. So look, if you believe certain bad things about God, it actually affects your health in negative ways. And if you believe what the New Testament says about love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and all those things, it has great effects on your heart and longevity of life and your enjoyment of life, and changes your mindset. So look, here's one big idea I want to give you about God. Yeah, I've read Maxwell's books on leadership. He was at a conference I went to not too long ago, 10X conference. He was down in Miami. So the one big idea, there's tons and tons of ideas about God that we could go over. In this context, in terms of helping you succeed at what you're trying to succeed at. Yeah, Kathy says your mom is married to John Maxwell's dad. I think I remember you telling me that. That's pretty cool. So you have some encounters with John. Tell John I want to meet him. I want to create some product or ideas with him. We'll hook up. And the one big idea is that God is for me. So if you just say it that way, God is for me. I could say it for you. God is for you. I see some of you asking some questions there. I'll get to maybe in a second. But God is for you. So he's more interested in who you are becoming than he is in the goal. He's also interested in the goal. There's no doubt about that. But if you read the data and you seek out and you mine the data, which I talk about in the New Testament, then what he's super interested in is who you're becoming in the process. And when I say this idea that God is for me, he's for you, he's not against you. There's nowhere in the data that says he's against you. He's not angry with you. He's not mad at you. And when you come pray to him, a lot of you talk about prayer. So he's coming in 2 weeks. Yeah, man. You set a meeting. Set a meeting with John Maxwell with me, and we'll make great things happen. I know he's probably getting hooked up all over the place with different meetings. So God's not mad at you. He's not sad. He's not even sad. You know, sadness is this idea that there's nothing I can do for somebody. There's tons that God's doing. And if you're a Christian, the way you can believe that God is for you, that is, if he sent his son to die for you, then he's for you. It's an end of there's no question about it. It's an exclamation mark. Like you never have to doubt anymore. You never have to go to discouragement unless we're reworking our mindset. Right? We go to discouragement, which is the death of our souls. Yeah, so he travels a lot. Got back from Israel. He can marry us on the beach. There you go. I'll come sit and observe and watch. Discouragement is not from God. Doubt is not from God. Suffering is not from God. Pain could be sometimes, but that's not a sin. That's not bad. Pain is time under tension. Like when you're lifting weights, you're time under tension. You got to go through the pain. When you want to be successful at anything, you're going to encounter some pain. You got to go through it to make it happen. Whether it's getting in physical shape, whether you have to apologize to the spouse and learn how to communicate in their love language, or making money. And you're going to have to take a new job. You got to go through the pain of learning things. It's time under tension. And so pain's good, but suffering is always optional, and that's not from God. So he's not sad. He's not angry. He's not judging you. You know, Martin Luther King Jr. used to say, hey, I'm not going to judge anybody yet because God's not even judging somebody yet. And he's right. He's not frowning on you. God is not out to get you. He's not a moral cop in the sky saying, I saw that, you're done, you're toast, I saw that, go sit in timeout, you know, you're in trouble. He doesn't say that right off, you know. He's not against the laws of the universe. A little bit last week we talked about God and science. He's not against science. Christianity, you know, as far as I can see in historical documents, they were the first to invent science as a formal education methodology in order to discover the laws of the universe and physics and all this other stuff. He's not against the laws of the universe. So when it comes to the laws of the universe, we say, how do we use the law of the universe, that this deity, that this God created and designed for us to live and breathe? If I walk down the stairs, I got to abide by the law of gravity. I can't jump and think that it's not going to hurt. I got to take the stairs. So I'm abiding by certain laws, and it's the same with all kinds of laws. So we got to discover what those laws are that God put out there in the universe and leverage them for kindness and goodness and all the things that he's calling us to be. And he's not going to control you. So I believe in something called synergism, where he's working in conjunction with you to succeed in your goals and succeed in who you're becoming in the process of your goals. And he's not Ed McMahon. You know, I believe in praying for miracles, and the idea of a miracle, like God may show up and give you a miracle. The main idea from all the data that I can find is that if he's going to provide the miracle and I'm praying for a miracle, I better wake up the next morning prepared to see a shovel by my bed so that I can go to work and dig, because he will begin to open up doors, and I keep praying. But as I dig, things begin to happen, because digging is really a metaphor for not just taking action, but as I pray, I'm praying, hey, change me from the inside out. And as I change from the inside out, I begin to see things differently. I begin to treat people differently. And as I treat people differently, new opportunities, new options, new ideas start to flow through me and in me and around me. I might meet a guy or a gal, depending on the sex, you know, your gender of who you're going to marry. I might meet somebody and get a new job. Whatever your goal is. I might meet somebody that goes to the gym and I need to get in shape. Right? So the more I change on the inside, which is really 90% of all the prayers in the New Testament, you know, and Jesus' model prayer, by the way, was the Lord's Prayer is not really what we call the Lord's Prayer. That was like a template. His real prayer in John, that's the Lord's Prayer, and he prayed for unity, that we would all have unity. But what we do is we're like, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm right, you're wrong. And so we're all wanting to be right. Well, I'd rather change from the inside out than have to be right over somebody else. Because when you feel, I'm getting on a tangent now, baby. So when you feel like you're right and you got to tell somebody else that you're right, be careful, because you're stripping them internally of their worldview, and it crumbles in the process, and they're trying to make sense of that, and it really hurts. Because if you are right, that means they've been wrong, and they got to rebuild all that, and we expect them to do it in 5 seconds. So look, the point isn't to be right all the time. The point is to grow from the inside out. And when we do that with our prayers, we so many different opportunities start to flow into our lives. You agree with that, or you disagree with that? It is God is for you, and it like he does not grow internally based on our prayers. He already is sufficient. So the idea is it's for you, and you to move you forward. And everything in every area of your life will intersect with your heart and your emotions. Everything will flow through your heart and emotions. Everything and everyone that comes into your life will flow through your emotions. Everything. Wherever that stuff flows from, it flows through you, and wherever it's going, it's gonna make its way to your heart, and our heart's got to be open to grow in the process. So look, I believe that God gives you those dreams, and then we're to say, hey man, I trust you with this. I'm not going to give up on this thing. And I know it could get hard, but the point of time, it's time under tension. It's growing us. He's doing something in that. So I've given up on stuff before and said, it's not from God, or that was just something else, or I need a new goal, or I need a new dream. It didn't make me a bad person, but I believe God gives dreams to people. He's put something out in front of us so we don't just sit on our couches our whole life, or in the caves back in the day our whole lives. Gives us something not just to do or accomplish, because you can accomplish 1,000 things in the world. You can go to the moon and still not be happy. You can make millions and hundreds of millions and $1 trillion and still not be fulfilled and happy. Achievement is not the ultimate success. Right? You want to feel fulfillment and have the heart grow and grow and grow and grow. That's why I follow Jesus. He's always talking about the emotions. He's always talking about the heart. And So the idea is whatever dream he gives you, don't give in to discouragement if it's not happening fast enough. Maybe he's growing you in significant ways. Maybe he's saving you from something. Maybe if you had hit a target earlier, it would have crushed you in a month after that. Maybe coronavirus is here now, not necessarily from God. I wouldn't say that, but maybe it's here now in this way so that the next virus the world will be stinking ready for, because it doesn't look like we were ready for this one. And if it had been more lethal, we'd all have been in super trouble. You get it? So don't be discouraged. I know it's easier said than done. But let's say you're wanting to find the love of your life. Do you really believe that getting married to a great person is going to bring ultimate fulfillment? It won't. It won't. Now, I'd rather live with someone, and I'm married way above my head, so I'm very happy about that. And I'm all about helping people find somebody. But the idea is for me to grow my emotions. How I love her and how I serve her. And the better I get at that without saying, well, I did this for her, so she needs to do this for me, then I'm happier. If I keep score with her like I used to in my younger days, I'm miserable. And yet I still married over my head. But I had not changed from the inside out. It's the same. Some of you want to make laptop income. You can make $1 million and still not be fulfilled. That's not success. That's the ultimate failure, is achievement without fulfillment. Or fitness that takes growth. All these things are to grow us, to find the love of your life. It's going to grow you. To get married, to make money, it's going to grow you. Fitness is time under tension. And when I was working out this morning in the basement, I usually go to the gym 5-6 days a week. This morning I was working out in the basement, and my 12-year-old was down there watching me. And I said, do you want to know? She goes, Dad, you are so sweaty. You're working hard. I said, I have a why. Do you know what my why is? And she said, well, what is it? I said, if you decide to have kids someday, I want to be around, and I want to be able to run around, do jumping jacks, forward rolls with them, or whatever it is. So the idea is to grow so that I can give back and love. So what's the point of all that? God cares. God is for you. He's for you. Yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down. He's for you. And if the idea is to grow you so that you can ultimately find fulfillment and joy and all those emotions in the heart, then we got to fall in love with the process. That's a big takeaway tonight. You got to fall in love with the process of going after the goal. Because every time you get tripped up, it's got to be like, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? What is this teaching me? How can I find joy here? How can I find peace here? And as you do that, you grow even more, and the opportunities will begin to flow even greater. Yeah, so God can help use the virus to help me get my goals. It'll be interesting to see how he uses it. Yeah, so as you begin to think that way, right, without saying God created the coronavirus, instead of saying God created the coronavirus, he's mad at the world, or God didn't create the coronavirus, but I can't hit my goals while I'm sitting in my house. If we said those two things, then our brain and our heart shut down. We have no option to grow. But if we begin to say, what if there's new directions and a new pivot and a new way of looking at the world and options and technology of how I can grow and how I can meet people here, then you'll start seeing new things. And it's the same with everything. So fall in love with the process. All right, where are you at in your goals? A couple of you guys have already mentioned it. Where are you at with your goals? And by the way, I would put that up somewhere. God is for me. God is for me. God is for me. God is for me in this. God is saying God is for me in this does not mean God is doing it. It doesn't mean that God does everything. So just because he does something once doesn't mean he does it every single time. You get it? So if you show me in the Bible or some other book, hey, God, it says that God did that. Okay, but just because it did it once doesn't mean he does it every time. It means that God is for you. So how can you find that he's for me in this situation? Now, your belief about God that way will create a different attitude, a better attitude. So where are you at in your goal? Let me know. It looked like Kathy had made an offer on her house. Congratulations on that. Come back and let us know. So if they accept your offer, I guess you're closing, aren't you, in mid-May? That's awesome. Whenever you guys have updates on your goals, feel free to come in between Wednesdays to let us know. So a couple questions. Who are you becoming? Who are you becoming? This is why I love it when people set big targets, right? So they're like, Aaron, I'm so overwhelmed. I can never hit that target. I think it was Les Brown. I said, hey, man, if I shoot for the moon, I may not ever hit the moon, but at least I'll land among the stars. And the idea with setting a big target is, listen, even if you never hit the ultimate target, what you thought was the ultimate target, you stretch and grow and are far more fulfilled, and it creates 1,000 more targets or more options, and it lands you amongst all those things and gets you even a better target because you just became somebody in the process. So never lower your targets would be another takeaway. Never lower your goal. If your goal is to find the love of your life, don't lower your target. If your goal is to lose 50 pounds, don't lower your target. If your goal is to gain muscle, don't lower your target. If your goal is to do laptop income, do not lower your target. That's the temptation. Everybody's lowering their goals. Oh, maybe I should switch to another goal because I haven't made progress fast enough. Keep stretching yourself, keep growing the emotions. Because that's the whole idea. And as you grow those emotions, fall in love with the process. You can't lose if you fall in love with the process of asking people on dates, of trying to figure out ways of making money. You're in this for the long term. I saw a guy lifting weights at 90 years old. He was deadlifting several hundred pounds. See, I can't lose in my fitness if my goal is in my 90s. It's not right now. So I keep going. Don't lower your targets. Who are you becoming? Are you proud of yourself? You should tell yourself every night in the mirror. Here's another takeaway. Before you go to bed every night, look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of you. I love you. And if you get in bed, before you say it, get back over to the mirror and say it. Yes, get up, say it. Hey, because if the God of the universe is for you and the God of the universe loves you, you can love you. It's okay. You guys, you just got to keep going. A persistent, consistent pursuit of your potential, of who God's calling you to be. Okay, so here's one more big strategy. Yeah, stuff's just coming out of me. I gave you several takeaways. Fall in love with the process. Tell yourself in the mirror every night that you're proud of yourself, that you love yourself. I love you. Just say it like that. I love you. And you can add your name, or I'm proud of you. God is for you is another big takeaway. The idea is to grow you. And as you grow, you'll get all kinds of opportunities and options that you can't see right now. Let's see. Yeah, I probably said a couple other things. But here's a question that I have written down. I got a ton of things on this wall over there. This is one of my offices. And the biggest thing that I have is one question. And I'll rephrase it for you. But what's two things that you can do, or if you're asking your own self, what's two things that I can do such that by doing those two things, my goal or pick two get easier and I'm closer to success? It makes it easier to succeed at my pick two. What are two things that I can do such that by doing those every day, everything else becomes far easier to help me be successful towards my pick two? Some modification of that. So think about that. Whatever your pick two that you're focusing on this month, this next couple months, this week, what are two things that you know in your gut and your intuition that by doing those two things, everything else gets easier. Right? I want you to type one or two of those down. Kathy, yeah, you can invite people to the group. Just let them know what the group is, what month we're on, that kind of stuff. You're always welcome to do that. I just want to know what is up with my crush. So what is two things? Like, it makes everything else easier. So I got a friend that does seminars all the time. He writes books. He does courses. He teaches. He's a speaker. He's a coach. All these different things. So one of the things that he does is he does seminars, because if he's successful at his seminars, then he's also able to coach clients, because they see this guy on stage and they want to be coached by him. They buy his books. He's got several books, and he can enroll them in his courses. So his thing is, if he can just do seminars, then everything else gets easier. And his goal is to be a thought leader out there. So what's one or two things you can do such by doing those two things, everything else gets easier. Maybe your goal is to lose 50 pounds. I know a couple of you have a goal, something like that. Two things that immediately come to my mind is, one, if I don't eat snacks or crap or whatever it is, for me it would be ice cream. If I don't eat the ice cream or the chocolate or the sugars, and I walk 20 to 40 minutes a day, everything else gets easier. Or if I don't allow certain foods in my house, put it that way, right? So if just by doing that, everything gets easier, because then when I open up the fridge, it's not even there. So it's easier for me, right? I don't have to fight my will, because my environment is stronger than my willpower. In my environment, there's no crap, there's no sugars in my fridge. So, heck man, use that one. So before you get off, type down two things such that by doing it, everything else will get easier. Looks like my connection's kind of shutting down. It's raining here. Two things. Because you will never rise to the level of your dreams or goals. You'll always fall to the level of your patterns or your routines. And those two things should be routines. So for 60 days, I'm not going to allow chips, chocolate, or ice cream into my house. Nope. And if other people are doing that in your house, you need to let them know. You can't do that, man. My environments are stronger than willpower. I can't do it. If it's finding the love of your life, you got to think, what would make it if I did these two things, what would make it easier? Would make everything else easier about going after this goal? Because there's 1,000 things I need to do to make it happen. What are one or two things I could do? It would just make it easier. Same with making money, same with laptop income, same with all the goals. So look, hit me below, let me know. And I'll go down and try to answer some questions here. Okay, so Gail says, writing the goals has been helpful to maintain my focus. Yeah, I write my goals down. I write my goals down once in the morning. First thing in the morning, get my brain going in the right direction. Once before I go to bed. And every time that I have a failure. So that I don't get discouraged. Right? Gives my brain something to focus on. Because we do not drift in good directions. You understand that? Like if I don't have a goal, I don't prioritize myself, or I don't discipline myself, then I have the pain of regret rather than the pain of discipline. Discipline's painful. Pain is not bad. It's time under tension. Regret is terrible. So we drift in lazy bad scenarios. So we have to write these goals down. So yeah, it gets a little bit easier when you do that, Gail's saying. Okay, so yeah, if you come up with activities for each goal every day, that would make things easier, right? So if Gail, you say, hey, I'm going to come up with 4, what's one of the things that I could do such by doing it would make everything easier and more successful towards my goal? If I write down 4 activities every morning or even the night before about the next day that I'm going to take, that I just do it. It'll make everything easier. I know that I'm going to do 4. I've committed to 4. I commit to 4 activities. Then everything else gets easier. You start to gain momentum. Opportunities may start to flow your way. Someone may call you. You may call them. It might work out. You might get married quicker, right? So look, write those down. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to invite more people. I hope you guys stay safe during this whole crazy, but you know what? Time in our country and really our world. We're under a pandemic. But look for the opportunities. Look for the options and create them. Create the life. All right. Love you guys. Have a great night.